Alright, so this is a suggestion via Patreon. The name of the video is What Happened to Planet X? This is coming from the channel Star Talk. Guys, Planet X, it used to be a thing that we all held dear to all of us, I would say. Okay? It was once called Pluto. It is still called Pluto, but it's basically a rock and not really a planet. And who destroyed that for us? It was Neil deGrasse Tyson. He sucks the fun out of the room sometimes, guys. But either way, so in 1930, Clyde Tombaugh, he discovered Pluto. Okay. He thought that was the cause of the orbital disturbances that they were basically seeing in all the images they were taking. And basically how they find planets, or how they found planets specifically. Well, they still find them that way, but either way. They take a photo, okay? And then they take another photo at a later date and see if there's any type of movement, right? And if they're moving and they're slightly being disturbed, they call these orbital disturbances. And obviously something with a gigantic enough gravitational pull is causing these planets to be disturbed. Okay, and basically from this whole thing, the myth of Planet X was formed. But all right, let's go and check this video out immediately. Let's see where this definitely takes us. I'm sure it's going to be intriguing that Neil deGrasse Tyson is going to be explaining what happened to Planet X after he basically destroyed it for us. But let's go down this this trail.
So Chuck, anything been eating you lately?
So many things. I don't know if we have time, you know. I did recently see a thing about Planet X.
Okay.
Planet X.
Which I was very disappointed to find out had nothing to do with Malcolm.
This can't be widely known because I don't hear people talking about it when they talk about Planet X.
Right.
So I'm going to give you just some backstory here. All right.
All right. He's going to destroy it again, guys.
William Herschel accidentally discovers the planet Uranus. We knew about Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. There it stood.
Right.
For like millennia.
Right.
He discovers Uranus. It's a beautiful paper. Nobody had ever discovered a planet because all these planets were like known to the ancients. They're all visible in the night sky to everybody.
Makes sense.
Caveman knew about the planets.
Right.
Okay. Everybody freaks out because, oh my gosh, there's more than five planets.
More than 5.
All right. This is late 1700s, and he's Brit. So, of course, he named it after his benefactor, who was
George
the
III.
king.
the king.
Yeah.
King. Which king?
George.
Of our Declaration of Independence.
That's right.
Ultimately, clearer heads would prevail, and it was renamed from George to Uranus.
Uranus.
Yeah, Uranus.
Uranus.
I'm going to be honest. I think I like the way that sounds better.
Okay.
Which, by the way, is a much better name
Than George.
than George.
No. I like the way that the pronunciation of the original pronunciation sounded, more so than how we pronounce it and how children pronounce it and they laugh.
Okay.
And even better than Uranus.
So we're watching Uranus,
All right.
and we're getting a segment of its orbit because it's far out. It's not moving very fast.
Right.
These things take a long time to go around the sun. Even though we only had a small segment, we said, hey, its path is not following Newton's laws of motion and gravity. So someone suggested maybe we finally found the limit of Newton's laws in the universe.
Oh, okay. Let me give you guys a quick refresher. Newton's laws, basically 3 laws of motion. We have the law of inertia, law of acceleration and action and reaction. Basically what they do is they describe the relationship between the motion of an object and the force acting upon it.
Newton, you dope.
Dumbass.
Dumbass Newton. Should have known.
No, maybe they only apply to like Earth and the moon and Earth and the sun and inner planets and the sun. That could have been. Then someone said, maybe Newton's laws do apply, but there's another planet out there we've yet to discover whose gravity we have yet to reconcile in these equations.
Which is, if you just discovered one planet,
Maybe there's another one
there's
because that
another.
cracked open the egg.
Right. And then they found like Neptune.
The planet egg, right?
Right.
So,
Like
some
right
French
after
mathematicians and
Kinda.
Leverrier was one of his names. Leverrier. Laplace, I think, had a hand in this.
Laplace.
And they communicated.
Guys, really quickly, I just want to stop again really quickly. Guys, Laplace was interesting. Laplace had a lot of ongoings with Napoleon, right? And so, like, there are a lot of famous sayings specifically that come from Laplace's mouth, or just history in general, right? So, like, Laplace one time told Napoleon, this is how things are in the universe, right? And Napoleon, like, responds to him, but, like, where does God fit into this place here? And the famous words of Laplace, specifically in this context here, he said, listen, sir, I have no need for that hypothesis. And then basically later on named the book Nebula Hypothesis also. The book itself attributed to the origin of the solar system and the cooling and contracting of gaseous nebula. Okay, he also thought that the future in itself was just plain determined. There is no chance here, because everything is the way it is. It's going to be the way it's going to be. Things are going to move the way that they're going to move, and if there is something that stops something from moving, as in like an orbital disturbance, then there's obviously something we need to check out. That's basically his entire thing. Laplace also died in Paris at I think 77 years old, guys. I was a fanboy for Laplace when I was in college, guys. I'm telling you, Laplace was the man.
This prediction to an observatory in Berlin, and Johann Gottfried Galle, Galle.
Okay.
How you pronounce that?
Right.
Practically that night, he discovers Neptune.
That's pretty wild.
The power of math, the power of Newton's laws.
Right.
Okay.
Science.
Yeah.
Science. Neptune.
The future is determined. That's how it was so easy, because it was like, bro, this is not going correctly. Wait, if that works there, then it has to work here, by definition, right? It worked. If they found Neptune.
Moving. Okay, so we're now in the 1846, something like this, mid-1800s. All right. And, all right, let's follow its orbit.
Right.
We do that. It's not following Newton's laws. We've been down that road before.
Well, that must be another planet.
It must be another planet.
Of course.
Okay,
Planet 9.
let's start a hunt for that planet. That started the hunt for Planet X.
Gotcha.
So people said, we've done this before. Let's predict.
Right.
Just do the math of Leverrier. And look
all we
over
have to
here.
do- and it should be there.
Sure, but it was not there.
Uh-oh. Maybe it was hiding from you because you are so stupid.
So the hunt for Planet X was like this massive planet. It was a planet hunt like none other. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. Percival Lowell of the New England Lowells loved astronomy, was not formally trained, but he had money, built an observatory, the best one in the world.
Wow.
He was the first to figure out, put the telescope on the mountaintop
Okay.
above the low cloud layers where it rains, and put it in the desert.
Right, where it's dry,
Where it's dry.
and not a lot of clouds.
And not a lot. Even when you had clouds, there ain't a lot of clouds.
Right.
So he found a mountain in Arizona. Okay, where else are you going to put it? Right? Arizona.
There you go.
Found a mountain, built an observatory. Finest optics, finest everything. The observatory is called?
The Lowell Observatory.
Thank you, the Lowell Observatory. He initiated the search for Planet X. Mm-hmm. He wanted to know.
Yes.
Instead of choosing where to look, he starts a systematic survey in the plane of the solar system,
Okay.
a photographic survey. Now, how do you discover a planet? It has to be a dot of light in one photo, then in another photo, it is moved to a different spot.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay? So he initiates this, brings in Clyde Tombaugh to conduct the survey.
This is a guy, the Pluto guy.
He dies. Sorry.
Because it was boring as
No,
hell.
no. Lowell dies.
Oh, okay. I thought Clyde died because it's just like all I do night after night is look up here and wait for a dot of light.
This is going to kill
Oh,
me.
it's gonna kill me.
Right.
Ooh, this is gonna kill me.
Bro, get back to the science.
1930 is the announcement. Planet X discovered. Oh, by the way, it got named Pluto. There's a dot in one photo, and it's moved to another place in another photo. He would joke about this. He lived into the 1990s. He would joke about this. Hey, Clyde, how did you discover where Pluto was? He said, oh, I looked up in the sky, and there was an arrow pointing to it. Anytime you show the slide,
Right.
there's an arrow.
There's an arrow pointing to
There's an arrow. He persists with this being Planet X into the 1990s.
Okay.
Oh, how big was it? What mass was it? They assigned it the mass that Planet X would have to be to perturb Neptune in the way we discovered it.
Right.
Yeah, but the problem is that it's not, right? So it can't be. Pluto is absolutely minuscule. And in order for this to all to happen, right, to create an orbital disturbance of that magnitude, example, that planet, Pluto itself, would need to be 10 times the mass of Earth, right? And that's not the case here, guys. And obviously orbiting at a great distance from the sun.
Even though it wasn't anywhere where the prediction said it was going to be,
Right.
They said, fine, it's out there, Planet X, we good.
Right.
We good. Okay. Over the decades, we find out it's not as big and not as massive as they said it was.
A lot of ice.
A lot of ice.
A lot of reflection.
We found a moon.
Smaller than it was.
We found a moon. Its mass was like 1/5 the mass of our moon.
And along comes an astrophysicist named Neil deGrasse Tyson
Right.
and says, wait a minute. There needs to be one more nail in this coffin.
Right. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I was an accessory to the demotion. I didn't pull the trigger.
You got blamed for it. All right. You, in fact, got blamed for it. I blame you for it specifically. How dare you? All right. We learned Pluto in school. And now what are these young kids learning? I don't know, but it's not Pluto. You did that. You destroyed the solar system, Neil deGrasse Tyson. You did that.
Okay.
All right.
So in the 90s, it got demoted. He died before it was officially demoted. They might have just...
That would have killed him.
Oh, that's
Thank
not...
God.
That is not
Yeah, so it was not
funny.
until 2006 where Pluto was officially demoted. But we took it out of commission here at the Hayden Planetarium when we opened to the public in the year 2000. We plucked Pluto from the ranks of planets and put it with the other dirty ice balls being discovered in the outer solar system where it belongs.
You make it sound so derogatory.
No, okay, well, with the other
You
icy...
filthy ice ball. Little dirty ice ball.
It's happier there.
Right.
It's now the
Is
king
it?
of the comets rather than the puniest planet.
Okay.
Anyhow, it is so small.
Okay.
It's got so little mass, it can't possibly be Planet X.
Okay.
A researcher named Miles Standish asked a question. What are the observatories that obtain the positions of Neptune, leading us to say that it's not following Newton's laws? It's multiple observatories over decades. And so he goes back and analyzes them. One of the observatories was the U.S. Naval Observatory.
Okay.
And he goes back to the observations and finds out something like the gearbox was cleaned or oiled or something. Somebody did something to the telescope before those observations were made. Anytime you do something to a scientific instrument, you have to calibrate it. He said, what would happen if I ignore these measurements and fit the orbit to the remaining measurements that are out there?
Right.
When he did that, Neptune landed right on Newton's laws.
What?
And Planet X evaporated overnight. There was nothing with a mass and gravity that was perturbing Neptune. It was bad data.
So,
Oh, no. It can't be. Because I know they're trying to bring it back. Like in 2016, I read that they were trying to bring back the concept of Planet X based off of the original data. But if the data was wrong in the first place, guys, this is intriguing. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Pluto's mass had no effect on
No
Neptune
effect.
at all.
Nothing.
Didn't make a difference.
Didn't
what
make a difference.
Pluto did one way or another.
Correct. And I'm saying, when you're a scientist on the frontier, you don't know what is accounting for the anomalous results you're getting. Is it a
Bad
new
data.
law of physics? Is it something else that is correct laws of physics, but is influencing you in ways you don't yet know?
Right.
Or is there something wrong with the data? So Planet X is a centerpiece to this much longer, larger story here about the plight of science on the frontier. And so I just want you to appreciate what scientists go through
I do.
on that frontier just to understand how nature works.
Yeah.
And the data are not always correct.
Right. And guess what? And then everything else is off from that data.
They're off from those data.
Well, you have my understanding, but I also understand
Okay.
you killed Pluto.
That is
You did.
not the takeaway of this session.
He did.
Okay,
a fact.
there's been some evidence that there could be a much larger planet out there,
Right.
which has been called Planet X.
Right.
It's not affecting measurably the known planets, but it's because it's so far away. But there are other objects orbiting where Pluto is. There might be some anomalies in their orbits that could be explained by an object so far away you can't see it because it's too dark out there.
That's what I read. It was supposed to be a wandering planet.
Yeah, it's exactly what I read. And I think who's leading that charge? I think California Institute of Technology. I think they're the ones that are out there talking about trying to figure out what this wandering, 10 times Earth's mass planet is. Guys,
getting as a distance 10,000 times the Earth-Sun distance. So it's way out there.
Way out.
So possibly, but the historical case of Planet X is solved. All right, we got to call it quits there.
All right, that was great.
Chuck, a little bit of Planet X.
I love it.
You got it. All right, this has been Star Talk, an Explainer edition. As always, keep looking up.
Guys, I like these. I generally am I don't know. I'm just naturally attracted to science and astronomy, guys. I don't know what it is. It's just in me. I like that. All right. So yeah, guys, if you send me more of these type of things, guys, let's talk about outer space. All right. Instead of what's happening all the time around us, guys. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.
Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.